Warm welcome to panel builders. I see some dealers also here and switchgear manufacturers. So a warm welcome to each and every one of you. To give you a small brief about myself, I'm the founder, managing director of the Money Group of companies. I started Money Sales Bangalore in 1983. It's an electrical trading organization. Today we are number one for Legrand in Karnataka. We also are significant stockists for ABB, so on and so forth. Load Controls is a switchboard manufacturing company which started in the year 1990, and the entire range of products is there, what we manufacture. When I started in 1990, thoughts kept going in my mind. I also had a lot of problems in business. Sometimes you're flooded with orders, you have to refuse orders. Sometimes there's practically no orders. You have to sit down with your, in those days we only had a telephone index, and then calling up each one saying that, yaar main hoon aapke liye, kya halchal? And this was the kind of situation. So the thought process was, what is it that I need to be doing differently in order to have a more steady growth? So in '96, I went to Singapore. In a week's time, I visited about 18 panel building units. And that's when I came to know that even in Singapore, they have the conventional welded panels, but they also have a very beautiful semi-modular, semi-bolted design of panels. And what really took my breath away was a completely modular, world-class enclosure system. This was manufactured by a company called L Steel, who are also there in Goa. I pursued, went over, had a look at their factory. We had a lot of efforts were put into understanding how we can bring this modular technology to India. So I got onto the drawing board because importing and selling in those days were very difficult because of the import duties which were there. And in the year 2000, I introduced the modular technology in a very simple fashion in those days. But the moment I introduced the modular technology, I dropped the welded technology like a hot brick. Now, what happened was the ease of manufacturing enclosures was so very inviting. Customers were very happy with the look and feel of the panel. And I still remember there was this boy called Girisha who was working for us. And during one of the shop floor meetings, he said, "Sir, one thing I must say is that my health has improved once you have moved to the modular enclosure." Because he didn't have to inhale all those welding fumes, right? So this is a greener technology. It's something for each one of us to consider. So in the year 2007, with a lot of enthusiasm, I registered this company, Modutec Ready Panels Private Limited, with the sole purpose of manufacturing the modular enclosures. But as it happens in business normally, for 10 years, I just filed 0 returns. And I continued to do the business from Load Controls. Because of all these issues on excise duty and taxes and, should I really open a third company? All these thoughts came to my mind. I'll explain to you further as we go forward. So all the 3 companies together do a turnover of around 100 crores, and we have a history of being professional, pioneering, and purposeful in whatever we do. I must thank Cosma not only for this opportunity of presenting Modutec to each and every one of you, but also for this beautiful tagline called Uniting Panel Builders. And that is in one sense, I would say that this is a kind of a mission for Modutec as well. And we need to be seeing how we can do this. In India, there are 4,500 panel builders across the country, approximately. And they contribute about 20,000 crores of annual turnover gets added by the control panel industry. But then if you look at the Pareto principle, it applies beautifully here also. That 80% of the business comes from just 20% of the panel builders. And this is something for us to really think about. Why is it so? These And the A category panel builders generally have their survival and sustenance phase crossed, and they are more on the scaling phase, and profitability also automatically happens with that. So and how? Because they've discovered their niche, their strategy, and their strengths, and while they've overcome most of their constraints to growth. So if India has to scale, how will this happen without the B and C category panel builders, moving up in their game? So this is a question which occurred to me, and it is an important question for which each one of us should be asking ourselves. IEC 61439 in project specifications has become something for us to reckon with. Generally, for these balance 80% of the panel builders who come under the B and C category, for them, if you generally see, I've been talking to a lot of panel builders in the recent past and over a period of my 38 years of being in business as well, and I find that there are panel builders who get stuck at 10 crores, and year on year they do in that range. There are panel builders who are able to come to 20, but that becomes a kind of a barrier for them to cross. And then you have 40, and those who cross 40 crores is very few. You can count them in one hand, sometimes maximum two. And why is this kind of a situation there? And to make things worse, we have IEC 61439 certification in projects further dividing the men from the boys. It's not something which is within reach. It's a very expensive affair to get a certification of IEC 61439. So what happens to India? Earlier, this IEC 61439 was only for the oil and gas and power segments they used to specify. Today, even in the building segments, in the industry segments, they are asking for this certification. Further, the certification was largely restricted to the major cities. Today, it's coming into the two-tier cities also. People want this specification. And then, for every 10 inquiries which a panel builder used to receive in the past, hardly 1 or 2 were asking for IEC 61439 specification. Today, this trend has become almost 6 to 7. In fact, for those of you, who may not know this, from May of this year, Australia has made it mandatory for panel builders to be IEC 61439 certified. Without that, you don't sell panels there. So it's a question of time before India also would probably come into this phase of making it mandatory. In India, it might take a decade. It may take 2 decades also. But the trend is there, and that's something for us to recognize. So this increases the divide between the A category and the B and C category panel builders. The A category panel builders becoming bigger and bigger, and B and C are really finding it difficult to survive and sustain their growth. So what do these companies do? How do they meet this need of IEC 61439? And on their own, this would mean that they will need to invest 45 lakhs to 85 lakhs for type testing. Unless you put that kind of money aside, apart from that money, it's also about your time, it's also about your energy, your resources, which you'll have to dedicate. And there is no guarantee for the test passing in the first shot. Modutec is here to support you, and this is how we can do it. We are on a mission to simplify panel building for the panel builder. We have learned from our experience that panel building need not be complicated. And this is the message we want to take to the world and share our experiences in this regard. We are here to empower the panel builder to not just get compliant with the new IEC 61439, but also introduce them to the possibilities of standardization, systematization, and scaling. If you really look at the trend which we saw about 10, 15 years ago, every engineer wanted to get into software. Why? Because for every panel we make, it becomes a customized panel. Suppose we supply panels to a club like this. Whatever engineering goes into the manufacturing of that panel, it is dead after that particular engineering is done. But consider a software like Tally. You write out the software, and then look at the number of people who have the benefit of that software. This is the advantage of standardization, and this is something which we each must recognize, and we must also probably educate our customers, because the more and more we get into non-standard and customized solutions, our engineering cost is going to go through the roof. So this is something to do with inventory turns. This way you will enhance your on-time delivery, your lead time will come down, lead time reduction, and the quality in the way your panels are built. So you'll see that all these doors start opening up for you. Modutec has collaborated with 30 panel builders across the country. We said, okay, if we have to bring down the cost of this IEC 61439, what do we do? How do we do it? So I said, come along, panel builders, let's get together and then share the cost of this, because in Intertech Asta, there is a provision for what is called a vendor certificate. So we use this provision to ensure that one time we do the type testing, and then we are able to give the certificate to many panel builders. Within a very short period of time, 10 panel builders came over. I went on digital media and I said, can we make this 20? And to my surprise, 30 panel builders came. And that is how we were able to reduce the cost. Now, what happens when we do this is that the certification of, in this case, ABB with 4000 amps, 65K for 1 second, IP43, and all these specifications, we are getting it type tested at under the aegis of Asta. There's been some hiccups, so it's taking a little longer time. COVID also had its impact on this, but 9.9 out of 10, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will be able to complete this test. Now, when this test is completed, we will be giving this certificate to each and every one of those of you who have participated in this. Now, you all have seen the CPRI certificates. You all have seen the ERDA certificate. Now, have a look at the ASTA certificate. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is the kind of professionalism with which the certificate comes. Dilip, just open and show. This is about a 200-page book. The first page is where your name and address will come. Now, the point is that this first page, which is there, it has all the tests which are conducted for this IEC, and once you take a photograph of this and put it up in your website, you put it up in your brochure, you put it up, make a poster of it and put it up in your cabin, it's a matter of pride about how you are no longer a panel builder who is not certified, but you are a panel builder who has the certification of ASTA. And this takes you to a different league of being in the service of customers for panel building. And then if you see, you'll find that there are all the remaining pages will explain each and every test which has been done, what are the results of this test, including the photographs and the engineering drawings, etc., with all the bill of material of, in this case, the ABB switchgear. So I'll come to it more. So now the point I'd like to stress is that this certificate, because of the fact that we have been able to come together, we were able to offer it at 3.5 lakhs to all the panel builders. But we put an end to that and said that from 28th of September onwards, it is going to be 5 lakhs. Now, why we increase the price? We increase the price because we realize that my job doesn't end with just giving you the certificate. My job, it in fact starts by when I give you the certificate. After that, there's a lot of hand-holding which will have to be done. I'll have to increase my number of staff to visit each one of you personally, to hand-hold you in the running of the, upgrading from a welded technology to a modular technology. So there is a lot of expenditures also which will go along with that, right? So that is the reason why we up the price to 5 lakhs. Now, whenever we have a Cosma, get together, it's always a time to give. And I'm sure Satish Bhai, who is listening to this program now, will also appreciate this fact that Cosma has been an inspiration for me. It will soon be an inspiration for each and every one of you who start involving yourself more in the activities of Cosma. There is a lot which, I have personally gained as a panel builder from Cosma, and therefore it is giving back time. So for those of you who will take this decision today to join this IEC 61439 scheme, we're reversing the time frame back and giving it to you for 3.5 lakhs. Okay, so now what is required is, I know it's going to be difficult for you to fill in the forms and all of that, but Dilip is my colleague out here. So Dilip is the person who is our general manager. He is a postgraduate in electrical engineering, and he's the person who's done all the type testing. In fact, he's gone to Seoul in South Korea, and he has done the type testing for 4,000, 2,500 amps and 1,600 amps breaker panels for LS Electric, more of it as we go forward. So what I'm going to request him to do is, for those of you who will be interested, just take your visiting card, sign on that and hand it over to him. And we will ensure that this prize is held for you. Okay, so we'll have to, of course, closely follow up with you, and within the next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, we could take your advance, and then we can take it forward. And those once you sign and give it, we will also send you all the details of this. Most of you would have already received it, but for those of you who have not received it, we will send you the PowerPoint presentation, which has all the information, and then you can take a call. Now, why I appeal to you to join us in this is that, number one is it'll take you to another league of operating from, and it'll be in your name. So this is very, very important. And once you do this, then you're automatically telling the world that your IEC 61439 specified, number one. And number two is that there are other advantages which I will come to. So some more benefits from Modutec is that the association with Modutec would further give the panel builder access to multiple makes of switchgear. Now we have type tested with Mitsubishi, LS Electric, Schneider, Eaton, and Siemens as well. We have certifications for all these breakers. So that is that certification is going to be made available to you. We are committed to doing the internal arc and seismic tests also before 2022. So that is also something which will be available for you. We are also getting into drought panels, as well as molded pan assemblies for MCCB incoming and MCCB outgoing. So what we have displayed here is a molded one for MCB outgoing. So we are going to be making this in MCCB outgoing also. So this will compact the entire panel. We did a project called Kia Motors where we supplied around 600 such MCCB incoming, MCCB outgoing, but that we did it in the open copper busbar arrangement. What the world prefers is to have a molded one, so we are working on that as well. ModSim software is another big step which we would be taking. We have got a 2D version, but we find that it has got a lot of limitation. So we are now working on a 3D version of the ModSim software. Now what this will do for you is that it will ask you a few questions, and as you answer them, the GA drawing will automatically come out on the screen. You adjust it to manner of how you want it, and then on the press of a button, you will get the entire bill of material, which will have its catalog number. Every mechanical part which goes into Modutec has got a catalog number, and it will have its price, and the weight also will be there. Weight is more for your freight expenses and other calculations. And for those of you who would be advanced users of Modutec, we will also give you the development drawing through the software. So I'll come to that as well. So this would empower complete transparency in pricing and clarity in the bill of materials along with the catalog number. So there's nothing left to ambiguity. It's very crystal clear what you're getting, what you've placed your order for. And this is something which will ensure that one of the biggest constraints which I believe a panel builder has is the enclosure. And when you eliminate that in terms of on-time delivery, it would mean that you will be able to do, give your customers that much faster service. So some more benefits from Modutec. Yeah. So Modutec is basically, if you see the structure of Modutec, it has just got two profiles, the frame bar and the crossbar. There are no other profiles which we use. I don't know how many of you have been exposed to other IEC 61439 modular enclosures which are available in the market. So if you are, then you will realize that quite a number of them have got multiple types of profiles. We simplify the whole thing by just making it two with tripods which goes into the 8 corners. It's all available here for you to have a look at it. Please have a closer look. So then, you know, the software I have told you about, and then it comes to you in a flat pack. So it's very easy for you to assemble, and this is what we will do by coaching your team to assemble it. And this is what I said, that we will be hand-holding the panel builder in every aspect. Now, just to summarize the product range, what Modutec has, we have our prime product is the Modutec, which is your Form 3 and Form 4 enclosures, which comes in flat pack and which has this type testing. Then we have the ModSim, as I've told you about the software. The ModDraw, we are going to be releasing it hopefully by the end of this year. ModPan, we are working on. Open design is already available. The molded design is what will be released shortly. Mod Bay is your Form 1, Form 2 enclosures, so we couldn't bring too many panels. So what we did was, behind this panel, we have made a kind of a sample of a Mod Bay, how it looks, right? So a Mod Bay design is also, you know, up there for you to have a look at. The mounting plate, it has got a sliding plastic piece at the bottom. So it's very easy, even with heavy components mounted on it, you can easily slide it in, and it's depth adjustable with a 3-point locking system for the door, etc. Mod Duct is a beautiful product for those of you who'd like to, you know, try this out. It's a modular air insulated bus duct, which can be even assembled at site. And you know, particularly when you have large volume of bus ducts to be done, it is very easy to do it with our profiles. Modac is a whole range of panel accessories which also comes along with whatever we are offering you here. This is our infrastructure. You're most welcome to our factory in Bangalore. We'd love to show you around, and right from design to the entire assembly, we have the entire infrastructure of your CNC turret punch press. We have 2 of them, and we have a foam gasketing machine also. All the gaskets in the doors here are foam gaskets, so it's seamless. There's no you know, opening in the gasket. So our panels have been type tested for IP54. So this is the factory, where we have 100 feet in width and about 450 feet in depth. So it's about 45,000 square feet. We've got about, the central height is around 27 feet. There's no pillars in the middle of the panel or of the factory. We've got epoxy flooring. We've now taken another shed, which is another 11,000 square feet adjacent. A powder coating is 5,000 square feet, your canteen and parking and all of that. And there is space for future expansion also available. Now, from Modutec, I was telling Mr. Prashant Deshpande, he's been one of our very loyal customers for a pretty long time. And, you know, I was having this conversation with him. Prashantji, you've been buying Modutec enclosures from me. What exactly is the reason you're buying it from me? Is it because our technology is modular and you're able to go and tell your customer that we are different from the rest of the panel builders? Is that what, you know, inspires you to buy Modutec? So he says, no. My customers, they don't look at all that. For my customer, whether it's modular or welded, it just doesn't make a difference. Then I said, why are you buying Modutec enclosures from me? He was saying that, you know, when he has to place the order for the enclosures to the local manufacturer, he takes anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks for him to give the enclosure to him. And then there is this running around in terms of precision, in terms of clarity in communication, so on and so forth. Whereas when he places an order on Modutec, the second day or the third day, we dispatch the entire profiles with the joiner pieces to his factory. So within the 4th or 5th day, the entire skeleton of the panel is ready. And in his case, he does the partitions himself. So he puts the partitions, and the 6th or 7th day, he is able to fit the switchgear inside, put the bus bars, everything is a parallel activity. And then within the next, from the date of the purchase order, within 7 to 10 days, I send him the doors, and practically within the matter of 3 weeks, he is able to send the panel itself out. And he says, this I'm not able to do with the local fabrication. Right? I'm not able to get the speed from the low. And I would imagine that even if you try and do it in-house, you will face the same kind of problem. So the first brand value, what we offer you is that we are being faster. We help you be faster. And this is very, very important in terms of project completion in time. So I think I've explained most of it, so I'll probably go forward. The next to being faster, Prashantji said that, change is the only constant in our industry. When we get the order, from the inquiry to the order, you'll find that there are some changes. And then after the drawing is approved and you are in the midst of your manufacturing, there will be some changes. And then it's not uncommon that when the panels go to the site, they would want some changes in the panel, right? And this is very difficult in a welded panel to accommodate. Whereas in the modular panel, we are having all these holes punched. Last minute, you want to insert a temperature monitoring device. You want to insert another clamping arrangement with some other item which is important for the customer. You can easily do it without much ado. Whereas in a welded panel, it would be, how difficult it would be, right? So these are another big advantage is that when you start using our profiles and when you start stocking our profiles, the beauty of our profiles is that every 30 mm interval we have holes punched and pierced. Now, therefore, literally in x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, we can give you any panel of any dimension in multiples of 30 mm. Now, suppose you have 1800 mm length frame bar, and you want a 900 mm length frame bar without which your panel is not going to get complete for some reason, right? There are other modular designs which are available. You'll have to wait till that frame bar or crossbar comes to you. Whereas in our case, you can actually cut it and use it. And you can use the rest of the piece wherever else you want. So this is what we call pieces, and it gives you peace of mind, right? So this is something which all our doors are reversible, right to left, left to right. You can, these two modules which I've shown here, for some reason you want to make a big module, then you can just remove this piece, change the door. At site, you can make this change. You have a big module here, for some reason you want to make that into two smaller modules. At site, you can make this change by introducing a crossbar and changing the doors. All this you can't dream of doing in a welded design panel. So these are important benefits which is there for your consideration. Now, understanding IEC 61439 compliance is very important. So for you to source the signature components and get IEC compliant, we will be, you see what happens is you can do, this is again another point which came out from my discussion with Prashantji. And he was saying that, look, I'm buying your enclosures and I'm doing the partitions myself. Why don't you just give me the profiles and I'll do the doors also myself. And for me, the cost effectiveness is very important. So this is something which we have taken as suggestion. We have divided into Modutec, SNTech and PartTech. So Modutec, you get the entire enclosure, which is IEC 61439 compliant. SNTech is you get the essential enclosure of the skeleton with the doors, and this is not IEC 61439 compliant. Then you can also take just the profiles from us with the joiner pieces, make everything else yourself, and that will also not be IEC 61439 compliant. Now, if you want to do that and still be IEC 61439 compliant, we have a solution for that also. And for that, we will need to come to your place, we'll need to come and inspect your infrastructure, we'll need to validate your infrastructure, whether the Modutec brand will allow that, and whether all the compliances what we have gone through in terms of the type testing you are capable of handling. So if all that is, if we are satisfied, then we will sign a agreement with you on this license arrangement. Now, this modular system is, it has been a game changer in load controls, and I'd just like to share this experience with you, that in 2017, Eaton came and they literally gave on a silver platter to us a 35 crore order. This was for Kia Motors. Now, what attracted them to come to us? Why did they do this? Because we were the only modular enclosure manufacturers with the switchboard, and we were willing to work with them and get our enclosures certified in their name, right? So they chose us, they came to us, we got the IEC 61439 type tested, passed, not only for low voltage, we did it for medium voltage also, considering the volume of the business, and we picked up. Now, this had to be executed in just 5 months. And I mean, believe me, it would never have been possible for our factory, which did 48 crores turnover the earlier year, to execute a 35 crore turnover, order the next year, without the help of the modular enclosures. And this is when, I said that this is too good an idea for it to go to the grave with me. I must spread it with the world and benefit other panel builders. So this was the genesis, and if you look at this also, then it could be a game changer for your business as well. There are other multiple benefits, like, as I said, we are the official partners for Mitsubishi and LS Electric in India. When I said we are getting into this Modutec business and we participated in Elecrama, immediately these two multinational companies came to our doors and they said, can we work with you? And they had the R&D team of Japan come in, the R&D team of LS Electric come in, they approved our facilities. As I said, LS wanted us to get the panels type tested in Seoul, which we got done. In fact, Dilip was the person who went to Seoul and got the type testing done. And this is something which is available for you to leverage. And LS Electric is, we did this for them with aluminum bus bars for the Indian market. And the head of LS, who looks after the Indian market, sits in Dubai. When he came down and he saw our infrastructure, he said, hey, let me see if I can buy this for Dubai also. They've been one of the significant contributors to our sales. They bought a lot of container loads of enclosures to Dubai. And 3 weeks back, they've given us a purchase order to repeat these 3 ratings tests with copper bus bars for the world markets. We, with Eaton also, we continue to work with for projects, and the Modutec ABB certification, as I said, is almost complete. You can put up these things, and then another beautiful thing is that, when we say that we want to scale our business, one area, one market which we should not ignore, in my opinion, is the export market. Because that is where there is a huge potential. If you look at Ambit Switchgear, you go into his website, he's present in almost 20 countries. Now, when Anand Singhal can do it, then why can't you and me? And the kind of pricing you'll get when you go overseas is also fantastic in comparison with what you get here. Asta Intertech certificate will help you get an entry ticket into the export markets. The moment you show them an Intertech Asta certificate and say that you're IEC 61439 qualified, the door opens for you. So this is also something for you to consider. Today we have distributors and panel partners in Bangalore, Coimbatore, Goa, Pune, Bahrain, and also in Bahrain, Dubai, Kenya, Sydney, and Perth. So we have expanded ourselves, and we are looking at Europe also, we're looking at Russia also, all in good time. And South Africa, we are almost closing the distributor agreement with one of the big players out there. So that is it from me. I would request you to please go into modutec.net. There is a lot more information about Modutec on that. If you go to YouTube and type in Modutec ready panels, you will be able to get to our channel. You can kindly subscribe to it. And I keep, putting up videos which will be of interest to you, which hopefully will make a difference. So to take this meeting forward, and as we conclude the day before you leave, I would request those of you who have not yet had a look at the panel to have a look at this panel. We were into CRCA with powder coating for the profiles earlier. Now we are slowly moving on lock, stock, barrel to alu-zinc profiles. And I told you, because if you cut the profile, you can reuse it. When you cut a alu-zinc profile, you don't have to worry about it getting rusted. Okay, and even the interiors is alu-zinc, so that again doesn't require any issue. I have drilled a hole, so it will get rusted. No, you don't have to bother about that. And doors, we can give you any finish of powder coating, and it's as per your customer's preference. Before we go forward, just as a last, point of conveying the benefits of Modutec to you, nothing more than listening to a person who has used the product. So I would like to request Mr. Prashantji to come and share his experience of what he has felt with regard to Modutec, and also probably give us a feedback on what else we need to be doing in order to serve you better. Please.
So good evening. I'm back here again with a different cap, but I've been one of the customers of Modutec modular panels for last three and a half years now, and I have visited their factory at the beginning of this transactions, and I was very impressed with the ease of operation, ease of assembly of these panels. And I thought that we have been a company which has stayed away from manufacturing our own enclosures, so we were always on the lookout for ready-made enclosures, and we've been buying retail enclosures for a number of years now. But with these enclosures, we have realized that the way they are assembled, that we could start work practically 3 days from placing the order. We get the basic skeleton of the panel, and we can start busbar work, and we can start the assembly of modules with like starters and other stuff. So I found their quality to be excellent quality of workmanship, and they have evolved in last 3.5 years. What I see here is a completely different and a far more progressed enclosure. So I would like to share with you that it has helped us to scale up our business, and it's reduced our dependent on the welded kind of structures. And as you see, these are really world-class enclosures. So any of our customers see them, they are impressed with the quality that we have. And the deliveries are the key, the crux of this matter. So thank you, Mr. Ramani.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prashant. It makes a big difference when it comes from a user's experience. And, the Serum Institute is another place where, we needed to, there was a fire, and then the panels needed to get done immediately. And that was, again, a place which it was possible.